to be exploring the blackest city in America, which is Jackson, Mississippi, and we're going to be talking about the power and racial imbalance that's going on there. First, you just got to understand that social justice is the principle of rights that all human beings should have equally, regardless of their background, which is their race, ethnicity, age, and gender. Also understand that black people make up 80% population of Jackson, Mississippi. So they do experience systemic racism through the government, and this is through redlining, and this is when high and middle class, they leave, and people of low income are unable to leave these areas regardless of conditions because they're not in the state of being able to. Your area is low income when your state does not invest in you. They don't want to invest any funds either. So you'll see the redlining. They receive continuous blockages of funds. They're not allowed to put any input of how funds are being spent by the local officials. And the government also has knowledge of failing inspections. They haven't been keeping up with maintenance of the systems for their water infrastructure. And just the people of Jackson have experienced dismissal of civil complaints, and they have no explanation to why. They say there's no evidence of systemic racism, and they just can't prove it. They say that there's deliberate displacement, so they have exposure to harm like lead, E. coli, no safe drinking water. They're unable to go to schools. They cannot bathe. They cannot wash their dishes. Anything that everyone else has as a basic human right is just having access to clean drinking water, being able to cook with it, just being able to do basic things around your house they cannot do without having water bottles or having to boil their water if they even have water coming through their faucets. Other cities that are not in state of emergencies receive funds over Jackson. Jackson is the only city in Mississippi that receives continuous denials, or they have money withheld from them without any explanation, and they won't explain why. And just the black community and even just local officials will fight against this, but they get continuous pushback that it's not an issue that's going on. And you'll see in Jackson, Mississippi, since the 1980s, 200,000 people were residing there. And to this day, it's less than 160,000 people that reside there. And that number has not gone up since the 1980s. In September 2022, that these are the funds that were given just to the state of Mississippi for Jackson. And then the state is blocking it. They're keeping a lot of their funds. They're keeping millions of dollars from them, because if it's not used by a certain amount of time, it goes back to the state government. And they need to basically explain where this money is going. Even though the EPA has investigated the state in general just for having unsafe conditions. The point is just understanding that systemic racism is a problem, is something that can take months and years to even undo. It's a system that they say is made for the people, but it's working against the people, and it continuously denies them of their basic human right.